안녕하세요. 민폐시 싱가포르 남자입니다. 네, 안녕하세요 여러분들. 네, 안녕하세요 여러분들. 오늘은 한국어 고급이 되면 어떻게 계속 발전하는지에 대해서 제 개인적인 경험으로 나누도록 하겠습니다. 네. So today I'm going to talk about my own experience in how to improve your Korean language beyond the advanced level. Now, if you're like me and you have studied in a proper language school in any of the Korean universities, all the way up to level 5 or 6, then you're considered a advanced level Korean language learner, right? Now, but to the dismay of many of us advanced level students, you'll find that there's no more levels beyond that. We should have mastered the language, right? But no, whenever we speak to Korean people, the things that we say, like there are things that we say that tends to be weird, like there are expressions that Koreans just don't use but we do, or there are ways of saying things that Koreans just say differently, but we kind of tend to say it differently because we are translating from English or whatever your mother tongue is into Korean. Now, that is a huge problem. Like, if you really want to get good at Korean language, this becomes a huge hurdle. Because I realized that once you reach this point where you pretty much understand all the moompop and you can understand like dramas like 90% and above of the time, but when you're speaking with Korean people, you're always like slightly off, right? That frustration, right? Okay, so then I realized that at this point, when you reach this point, then you reach a really like a turning point, because at this point you need to decide if this is good enough for you. If just communicating is good enough for you, then okay, then you're okay, you're fine. You just have to like keep building our vocabulary and be able to say more things, and that's just about it. Oh, mosquito. But if you really want to reach a native level of kind of Korean language proficiency, now you have to discard everything. Like everything, okay, everything is too much. Like maybe 50%. Like pretty much just discard the things that you make up in your own head. Meaning right now as foreigners speaking Korean language, we make up the sentences in our own head, translating from our mother tongue, right? Now you have to discard all of that. Even if all of that communicates the correct meaning in those situations, they are 90% of the time not how Korean people say it. Okay? So at this time we really have to like discard everything and then take our mind back to being like a Korean baby and learn how Korean people react to and how they say certain things under those specific situations. Right? Yes. Learning from zero all over again. How do we do that? I find that one of the most important thing that really helped me, one of the biggest things that helped me, is reading a lot. Like you have to read a lot. Like just ask yourself, how many books in your mother tongue have you read since you were a kid? Okay, that was how much books a Korean person read growing up, and that was how much information they draw from when reacting to everyday situations. Okay, so if you're not catching up on your reading, which shows you how Korean people say these things under certain situations, then you're never gonna be able to use it. Okay, and you need to read a whole variety of things. Just imagine the whole variety of different kinds of books that you've ever read in your mother tongue. That's pretty much the variety of books you need to read in Korean language as well. Okay, so I have one about raising dogs here. Just every single topic under the sun, because you need those material. Okay, if your physical books are not easy to get, you can read on Kindle. I read on Kindle as well, Korean language books. Now you may ask, so what about just watching drama? Now to me, watching drama helps in the listening and the attitude and the accent of the language, but not quite so in terms of catching specific things. You can, but it's not very efficient. Okay, like in a book, if you find certain expressions very useful, you can just underline them and then jot them down in your little black notebook or something, and then you keep referring back and then you keep practicing those lines. But most likely dramas, after you watch, like, it's gone, and then you watch the next episode and then you're very distracted by the storyline, to be honest, huh? So you're not really like focusing on the language itself. And also the other thing about drama is that some of the things they say are so fast that you cannot make out what was being said, okay? Or you don't know how it's written. So it helps, but I would say number one is books. Read a lot of books. Number two is drama. Okay, that's when drama comes in. And then number three is, of course, speaking with a lot of natives. Just speak with natives a lot. It's about breaking that internal 자신감, that self-confidence. If you don't get beyond a certain point where the language becomes very natural to you, you can't put any of this into work. So the speaking part is pretty much like the test. Okay, to me, it's like the test of everything you have learned on a daily basis. All right. And so far, I think right now, I kind of like, after 5 years, I studied in Hanyang University to level 5 for 4 years, for about 4 years. And right now, and I passed topic to level 4. So right now, I'm kind of like resetting everything and like relearning even very simple everyday phrases in the exact way that Korean people actually say, instead of inventing up or making up my own sentences based on my own understanding, right? So yeah, that's my journey in Korean language right now. Yes, I'm not giving up improving my Korean language, okay? How about you guys? What are your tips? Share with me in the comments below. 안녕.